Like Dr. Fisher said, my name is Brenden, and here's my testimony. One proverb many wise people have told me is this: comparison is a thief of joy. I never knew how true this was until I found God. I grew up in a very unconventional family. My mother had me at a very early age. Though I have a wonderful stepfather now, my biological father was absent from my life as a child, even still today. Despite this, I knew my other relatives loved me greatly. While most children around me grew up with a father and mother in a nuclear family, I only had my mom. Until my mom got married a few years ago, I considered my mom and grandma as my parents. They did an amazing job raising me, but I still felt inferior to those who grew up in a traditional family structure. For instance, at my elementary school, there was an event called Donuts with Dad. It occurred every 3 months. At Donuts with Dad, children and their fathers would eat breakfast together and have bonding time before school. Every time this event happens, I looked around and saw all my friends with their dads while I sat at a table with my grandmother. Though the donuts were delicious either way, I wondered why I was ostracized from the other kids. The environment I was raised in was primarily woman-led. Due to this, I picked up more feminine mannerisms rather than masculine ones. I naturally hung out with more girls and guys, as it was all I was accustomed to. Throughout elementary and middle school, people sometimes mocked me for this. Though I tried to ignore the comments, they caused me to wonder why I was so different from my peers. I recall a moment in 6th grade when we had a free day. Everyone was spending time with their friends, but for some reason, the girls wanted to hang out by themselves this day. I looked around and saw some other people playing Connect 4. I walked over and asked to join them, and they told me I could join in the next round. Though they said this, they never actually let me play, so I quietly watched them enjoy the game until free time was over. This situation caused me to question why I was isolated so much. Why was I the one that was always pushed to the side? Why was I the one that was always alienated? For this reason, I found myself becoming jealous of the friendships and love that everyone else had. At the end of my 8th grade year, I decided that I'd put an end to my bitterness towards other people's happiness. I decided that high school would be a fresh start for me. I started working out and implementing other forms of self-improvement, hoping that I'd become more desirable to others. I created a map of how my high school experience would pan out and tried to stick to that plan. Entering my freshman year, my plan didn't work out in the way that I imagined it to. I tried to grow closer to God, but stepping into this new season of life, many things caused me to ponder if He even existed. One of the main things followed me from my childhood: jealousy. Entering high school, everyone seemed much smarter than me, much cooler than me, and overall much better than me in every way. I felt inadequate, even more than I did before. This feeling was heightened through the use of social media. I'd see people my age and compare my life to theirs. They seemed to be living a picturesque life and much more joyous than I thought I'd ever become. Before I knew it, I was envious. I was unfulfilled and felt lonely most of the time. I was unable to truly feel happy for myself or anyone else because envy was the only thing in my heart. My struggle was completely internal, so I never let people know my true emotions, and that pessimism and gloom were creeping into my soul. My smiles were shallow and my words were futile. In order to combat the loneliness I felt, I retreated to a sense of arrogance and selfishness. I judged others viciously and tried to exaggerate everyone else's faults in order to make myself feel better about my own shortcomings. My cockiness and pride were of no avail, however, because I still felt secluded and envious. This sense of jealousy and desolation lingered until my junior year. There's no specific moment that sparked this epiphany, but I gradually began to realize that my worth doesn't lay in what I have, what I look like, or people's opinions about me. This notion caused me to grow in gratitude for all that I have and all that I am. Through my friends, I began to see God's love for me. Through my parents, I began to see how God protects me. Through my sister, I began to see how God guides me. God's love is greater than I or anyone can fathom. I realized that God's love was the only thing that could subdue this sea of resentment and envy. I grew in appreciation for God, and this urged me to pursue a newfound relationship with Him. Honestly, my current relationship with him isn't picture perfect, but I can positively say that I'm taking steps to learn more about him and to pursue his goodness. In doing so, I'm learning more about myself and my purpose in life. At times, I still struggle with comparing myself to others, but in those moments, I remind myself of what I've learned. I've learned that I am valued, I am worthy, and I am loved. Just like each one of you, you are valued, you are worthy, and you are loved. These things can never be taken away. As stated in Psalm 23, verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. I lack nothing because God is everything.